Hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm Dr. Josh Satterlee. I want to talk to you today about what is a clinic gym hybrid, just the basics of it. I know I throw that term around a lot, but I think clinic gyms are, man, they're the bee's knees. They're the best thing going. So let me talk to you a little bit about it. I got my notes here. But what is this clinic gym? It's a lot of things. Number one, it's the best healthcare around. So why do I say that? A clinic blended with the gym gets you all the benefits of a musculoskeletal clinic, right? You can relieve pain, you can get more motion, you can increase range of motion and strength, you can deal with neurological issues, and you get somebody with a set of trained eyes to watch you. So you can handle that aspect. Maybe you got to get rid of some pain or something. But then you also get to combine it with a gym. And the research is super clear. Getting into exercise is the absolute best thing you can do after any sort of painful condition. Now, exercise is tough. Heck, I struggle with it as well. But I really think that blending the clinic and the gym is the best type of healthcare because we get those benefits from active care combined with somebody who can help you get out of pain. So that's number one. Number two, it's the best business model for healthcare providers. And why do I say that? Well, look, a clinic essentially operates as this dead-end cliff, right? You're working with people till they fall in love with you, they know, like, and trust you, and as soon as that happens, what do? You kick them out, right? You're trying to work yourself out of a job, get them better to not need you. At that point, kind of sucks. You made all this effort and all this relationship capital, and yet you're not going to continue. So a gym allows you to continue on like that, right? Plus, the other aspect of the business model is the gym side is a membership-based model. And look, every successful business is moving towards a membership base. Apple will sell you a phone, but they're trying to get you to be a member of their music. Amazon is trying to sell you products and get you to be a member of Prime. And they give you a bunch of benefits. Why? Because membership-based businesses are the future. That's where the market's going. And they're so much easier to manage, okay? Plus, Clinic Gym Hybrid works like a hybrid vehicle. Sometimes the gas engine kicks on, sometimes you need more electricity, just like in the clinic and gym. Sometimes the clinic is bringing in more revenue, and then that falls down, and maybe you go on vacation, and then the gym kicks in and brings up more revenue. You can do gym events, fundraisers, short-term challenges, things like that on the gym side. Typically, you're not doing challenges on the clinic side. Also, the clinic gym hybrid model solves many of the issues that a lot of healthcare providers run into, all right? So, what are some of those? Number one, here's some problems. The insurance game, and I call it a game because it is, right? There's two players. One has a huge advantage, that's the insurance company. They have all the money, and so they're offering you something by offering you more patients, all right? Also, this model helps healthcare providers scale. Scaling is really tough when you're the smartest person in the room. How do you get other smart people around you? Well, this model allows you to do that. And then finally, the time for money, right? That's a clock for money. Time for money. Most healthcare is simply time for money. Maybe it's a little bit higher of an hourly wage, but you're working an hourly wage. If you can only get 4 patients an hour and you're charging $100 each, the maximum you'll make in that hour is $400. And the only way you'll make more than that is work more hours. That sucks. There's no way to break free of that until you add in the clinic and gym. Also, a clinic gym hybrid blends in more of your assets. So what are the assets that are sitting in your practice right now? Well, number one, a patient list. Most of the people on your patient list are no longer coming in, right? They're old patients. Maybe they'll come in next time they get an injury or something, but guess what? Most of the people you've worked with are not coming in. A clinic gym hybrid can help solve that. Also, these patients love you, right? That passion, that relationship capital is something that you should maximize. Expertise. You as a healthcare provider have a ton of expertise. So much so that you paid hundreds of thousands of dollars and committed years of your life, possibly decades, to get it. Why not use it more? Not just in the one-on-one with patients, but how can you use it to maximize your business aspect and not just rely on that expertise to be one-on-one with a patient? Last thing, number three, there is an increased need for MSK providers, musculoskeletal health providers. Why? More people are dealing with more injuries and more pain than ever before. More people are working completely sedentary jobs and then trying to break out and go to very aggressive training like MMA or CrossFit, and they're starting to see more injuries arise. When we were active as a population in work, we didn't have these huge changes that produced these injuries. Plus, you think about all the other disorders that a gym can help treat: cardiovascular disease, depression, anxiety, diabetes, all these things. Having a gym will help work with your local population and your community to get rid of those. Why is that important? Those 4 diseases I just said are just rising, 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 and you can be part of the solution. So, why do I believe in this? Well, let me tell you a little story. So we'll start in 2008, then we'll go to 2010, 2013, and 2018. Why is this a big deal? Let me tell you my story. There I was, a young chiropractor, relatively fresh out of school here in Las Vegas. And I started practicing in about 2007. Then in about late 2008, the economy was changing, but I realized, hey, we need to change the way we're doing it. We're just in a small office with individual rooms. We weren't really doing rehab. So we moved and added 400 square feet of rehab space, right? So we're using that and we're like, hey, this works pretty good, right? Like, we're actually improving the outcomes. We're seeing this rehab happen and our patients were getting better. We're making a little bit more money. In 2010, we added more space, but I couldn't figure it out. Like, we added space, did more rehab. I wanted to start doing golf evaluations and whatnot, but something was missing. And luckily, later in the end of that year, 2010, I had been sending all my patients who needed exercise, needed a personal trainer, I've been sending them off to local gyms. And Christmas of 2010, one of those local gym owners was pressing and pressing and pressing to have dinner with me. Couldn't figure out why. We sat down to have dinner and they said, hey, we wanted to say thanks. You have made a huge difference in our gym. You sent 43 people to our gym. And I remember I was blown away. I was like, I've sent 43 people to your gym? Now that was one of probably 10 or 12 gyms that I referred to in the Valley. It wasn't even the number 1 gym I sent to. And yet I had already sent 40 people who had become members at this other gym over there. I was blown away and it inspired me. So I'm glad that that happened. At that same time, in 2010, I was noticing this issue I called the ping pong patient. I would treat somebody for 4 to 6 weeks, send them off to a local trainer or gym, and this really happened with the ones I didn't know, but 4 or 6 weeks later, they'd come back because they re-injured themselves. Then I'd treat them, get them better, 4 or 6 weeks, send them back out. And they kept ping-ponging back and forth, and it was driving me bonkers. So that's why I started sending to these better gyms, because I didn't want those patients to continue to get re-injured. But I made some insights that year. And over the course of basically the next 2 years, that takes us to 2013. We actually started planning in 2012. But in 2013, we opened a clinic gym. This was 5,000 square feet, and it had about 1,200 square feet of clinic space, and then it had about almost 3,000 square feet of gym space, and then the other space was storage, waiting room, bathrooms, showers. Don't ever install showers. I made that mistake. But we did that. So 2013, there I am. I'm like, hey, we got this great facility. We can start doing golf evaluations. The ceiling was high enough. We started doing membership-based classes. Instead of just doing rehab here, we ended up doing gym classes, membership-based training. And things were going great. In 2015, I realized, hey, I want to start training some trainers to fill these classes. I really thought that was where our potential was. Let's hire some trainers, teach them everything that we've learned, and by the grace of God, I found a couple trainers who were really interested in learning all about human performance. So I started just sharing everything I knew from chiropractic college and everything I'd learned with patients over the years. And guess what? They loved it. They soaked it up. They were so inspired. They had been looking for this because they had previously been working in a big box gym and just being frustrated because people would get to a certain level and they couldn't get them any better. Or they would have injuries and issues and they couldn't solve those issues to get them to keep training. So by educating these guys and providing a pathway forward, we saw a huge difference. It was like putting rocket fuel on their careers. They were teaching regular group fitness classes before. They came to us, we taught them evaluation. I'm saying we. I taught them evaluation and assessment and all the things we could do to maximize their skill set. I didn't care if they wanted to stretch people or work rehab or exercise. I wanted to empower them to do everything. Well, I empowered them, and about 3 years later, in 2018, 2 of the trainers and the manager were like, hey, we want to buy this place. So that's when the buyout occurred. It wasn't a group of chiropractors that came forward. It was a group of trainers, essentially, that came forward and bought the gym. They saw it. They could see their pathway, and here they were They had polished their skill set over 2 years, and boom, they wanted to take it on themselves. I was blown away. I mean, I don't know anybody else that had trained low-level employees and ended up having them make an offer on the practice. So I sold it to them, and they still run it to this day. But the power was, it didn't have to be another chiropractor who bought it out. It was a group of other trainers and folks with lesser license that were able to do it. That's when I knew we had something there. So what problems does this model solve? Besides the amazing healthcare and the amazing business it forms, it produces synergy, right? How does it do that? Gym members that are gonna go out for injury, we'll just make a sad face. That's horrible. Let me do a better one. Gym members get injured. Where are they gonna get treated? They're motivated, they have the money, they've been going to a gym. Well, if they're in your gym, they're just gonna go to your clinic, right, and get treated. And people that are in the clinic, they get to the end of care, what are they gonna do? They're gonna say, hey, I want the next opportunity, which is the gym. And the cycle is gonna continue and continue and continue. And from being in both businesses, I can tell you there are problems with each one, and this model solves it. So let's go into the clinic and why this helps so much. Clinic problems. Number one, time or money. Look, the only way you make money in a healthcare clinic really is one-on-one patient care. That's the number one driver. Now, smart business people will find another way out of that, make sure they're making money even without that. But in a healthcare clinic, there's really only a few ways to make more money. Number one, work more hours. That sucks. I don't know anybody who really wants to work more hours than full-time. Number two, charge more per visit. That's tough to do because it's not like a lot of businesses where you could charge 10 times as much, or I go to a golf course that's literally 4 times as much as the local course next to me. I don't think in healthcare you can charge 5 to 10 times more per visit as much. But what you can do is produce an upsell. What is an upsell? Well, an upsell in general business is an additional service or product that helps you get closer to the end goal that you have as a customer. So let me give you an example. You buy a cell phone, what's the upsell? Hey, buy a case, right? You already have the phone, so you want a case. What else? Verizon or AT&T will sell you monthly service. And you know that phone works a whole lot better with data, so they're gonna sell you a data plan. Those are upsells, whereas the value of the initial phone leads to other valuable aspects. In a healthcare clinic, what are some upsells that you could sell? Well, you can do the clinic gym hybrid, which I think is the best and the most fun, but it's not limited there. What if you were to sell supplements, right? Those patients that wanna get to better health can buy those supplements from you. They can get them shipped to their house. You can create a lot of revenue without having to deliver the supplements yourself. What else? You could do training or classes. So if people wanna do some nutrition, weight loss coaching with you, you could coach people or hire coaches to work in your facility. But all those things are an upsell. Upsells are the most profitable things in any business. If you look at McDonald's, they spend something like $3 to get somebody in the door, but they spend less than a penny to get them to buy fries, which are almost pure profit. $1's worth of fries cost them like 5 cents, and it's an upsell. You have a burger, you want fries. Would you also like a drink with that? That's an upsell. In this market, that allows us to create an upsell that still contributes to that person getting better and better results, right? Getting that fitness component after they get treated is a fantastic way to keep them feeling good. And guess what? You're no longer handcuffed to your table to make money. So many providers I see, it's just, hey, the only way to make more money is provide more adjustments or see more patients or whatever it is. That means you're handcuffed to your table to make money. So you want to go to Hawaii? Too bad. You're not going to make money when you're there because you didn't take your table with you and you're not treating patients. You get sick for a couple days, you can see it in their P&L, right? So this helps make sure that you're not handcuffed to your table, that upsell produces more profit, and all these services we're talking about can be fulfilled by someone else who doesn't require the education, the years of education, hundreds, thousands of dollars of debt, and therefore they don't need to get paid as high as a licensed professional like a chiropractor or a physical therapist. So what are the gym problems? Well, they're a little bit different. People leave gyms because they don't have the time to work out, they don't have the money to work out, they don't have the motivation to work out, and they get injured. Well, you can't change that. You can't change that. I don't think you can change that, but you can certainly change that. And if you talk to most gym owners, they would love to have a way to treat their members if they get injured so they continue to be training. Gyms make money when people come in. That's really how you make. Even if you don't charge a visit average, people coming into your gym is what makes you money because they'll engage in other services. So one of the problems though here is in gyms is trainers. right? Sometimes they leave after 14 to 18 months, and sometimes they leave with your clients. That sucks. How can you prevent that? Well, both of those can be combated in a clinic gym hybrid very easily, and it's through education. Remember I talked earlier about those assets you have? You have so much knowledge in your brain about how the body works, anatomy, physiology, nerves, muscles, insertions, origin, all those things that we take it for granted as healthcare providers are very interesting to most trainers. And if you provided an amazing educational pathway where they can get better, sharpen their sword, and get inspired, they will stick around for more than 14 to 18 months. In fact, I have a client who has a clinic gym hybrid. He has 2 trainers that have been there for 3 years so far and have not left. There's no discussion of them leaving, and I only know it's at 3 years because that's as long as he's been open. So these 2 are with him forever. Why? Because every week he sets aside an hour to train with them, to teach them, and they learn. They're hungry for that education. The other thing is, they could, in some gyms they could leave with your clients. Not in one of these. Where else are those clients going to get that amount of expertise in a gym? Only one run by a healthcare provider, chiropractor, physical therapist. So instead of leaving, they're going to stick with you by using your assets, by training them, right? So I get all excited about this and I forget where I was in my notes. Dang it. Oh, let's move on to the advantages here. Number 1, time. Remember that gyms start making money as early as 5 a.m. Most clinics don't open up till 8. So from 5 to 9, your gym is going to be making you money. And from 5 p.m., when the doctor wants to go home, they'll make money till 8 p.m., right? So there's this advantage where the time you can make revenue expands. How about Saturdays and Sundays? Those are other days you can be making money in your gym that you probably won't be making in your clinic. What else? Well, delivery of services is cheaper. Meaning it's cheaper to have a trainer do something than a chiropractor, physical therapist. And I call this the 80-50 rule, okay? A highly trained, educated trainer can do about 80% of what a musculoskeletal doctor can do, but at 50% of the cost, 80%. They can stretch somebody, provide rehab, take them through a movement assessment, film them on video. They can do 3D analysis with them, find a affected joint. They can measure range of motion. They can measure strength. They can do palpation. They can even do soft tissue work and massage in most states. They can do everything except diagnose and high velocity, low amplitude manipulation or adjustments in a chiropractic office. But they can deliver that, and they're way cheaper than chiropractors to deliver that. And the third thing is revenue. They make money for the business, and you could hire 2 trainers, 4 trainers, 20 trainers, 200 trainers, all making revenue. So let me tell you a story. There I was one day, and we were doing our books. I was sitting in an office with my manager when I looked out on the floor, and I could see a trainer working with somebody. And I thought, you know what? I remember that trainer's been super busy lately. They'd been with us for about 8 months, 9 months at this point. I remember him being super busy for a long time. And so we looked at it, we ran some reports, and we found out, let me just get rid of this, that out of the 20 days of the month, he had worked 18 days at an average of 6 hours a day, right? So he had worked 6 hours of client work every day. And after paying him, we realized the profit coming to me was $276 a day. Every day that I had him work, I'm not talking about paying his salary, I'm saying what came to me as an owner, $276 every single day. So over the course of the month, multiply that by 18 days, I can't remember what it is, but 18 times 2 is 36, 3,600, 76, so 5,400. So every month I was making over $5,000 off of him. Add in a second trainer. What do you think I make? $276 a day. Add in a third trainer. How much do you think I make? $276 a day. Every day that he was there, I was making $276 without lifting a finger. And all I had to do was provide that education path forward. And all of the patients he had worked with, by the way, in those 18 days, every single one of the people he worked with as a client had been a patient we had pushed from the clinic into the gym with him. So it showed me that this is the perfect model. It's absolutely the perfect model to have the clinic and the gym blended together. All right. I think that's it. We're all done. So if you've enjoyed this video, then check out our other videos. Love to have you join us at Clinic Gym Hybrid. We offer live events, software that helps you run this practice, and consulting if you're interested. So check us out at clinicgymhybrid.com. I'm Dr. Josh. We'll see you later. Thanks so much for checking out these videos. I hope they're useful. We'll cover things like rehab, exercise, business model, progressions, layout, everything else that helps you build a clinic. So if you're interested, you can click here, there to get more videos just like this.